Where's the results? I don't just wanna no for real. How was y'all week? I want to know in the chat. How was y'all week? Had a great day, up 4.5%. Great week, great up 3%. Okay. Break even, 3-0. Okay, bro, I ain't losing. Okay. Okay. All right. So great. Okay, that's good. So this week was like Tuesday was like the worst day. I want to break that. I want to break those two trades down first. But overall, this week for me was like, because I'm so used to taking supplement steps like every single day. But this week in particular, like definitely had to bring something else out. Like for sure, had to bring out liquidity grabs. I think last week we brought out like a support setup. So definitely gonna break those trades down. But I feel like in quarter four, like we really have to be careful on the subs that we take. Like it is super crucial that you be very selective and don't just take any setup, because taking any setup is just not ideal in this quarter. Because like after I break down these two losses on Tuesday for our GJ and GU, like any fake out can happen at any time. So we just gotta be careful. So let me put this down here. Okay. And I'm just gonna break down the losses from Tuesday, and then I'm gonna just break down the wins, and then I'm taking questions as always. So, all right, now let's talk about this trade. This was Tuesday, I believe. Man, let me take this off. So this was Tuesday, and I was looking at this setup. Now, it was two red flags about this trade. For one, we have this pattern right here. Now, a lot of people be like, okay, this is liquidity, but this is also a reversal pattern to go back up. So this right here was definitely something that I was a little iffy about, just because we got a double bottom at the bottom. Now, again, like we know that this is liquidity. Money is like, well, somebody's stop loss is literally right there. I just know it, but it made sense that it was a fake out just because this is a reversal pattern. So like I was iffy about this trade for the simple fact the double bottom. But another real reason why I kind of didn't like this trade was because we was already kind of low. Like if you see where it started, this bearish run started what day was this? Monday morning, right before London session. It was dropping the whole time. So a correction has to come eventually. And that's the hard thing about trading, is you don't know when a correction is going to come. Like this had no signs that it wanted to go back up. So besides this, just this double bottom. So like this trade in particular, like we got to be very careful when it's breaking structure to reach our zone. I mean, we've been talking about this for weeks now, but like this break of structure right there, that's important. That little high being broken right there, that's important, because when they do that, that's decreasing the chance of this supply actually holding. So we can clearly see they did a fake out on that first break of the candle. And I talked about this on my YouTube videos where they like to fake out on the first candle. That's why I cut my loss so fast on this. I'm like, okay, if this candle flip, like you just broke the candle, you went down a little bit and then you flip green, I'm about to just get out and just close that break even, or at least a couple pips of my stop loss being hit, like probably like 2-3 pips. My stop loss was right here. I got out in like 2 pips. I'm gonna be honest though. So like my stop loss was roughly like 4 pips. I can cut that in 2 pips, like literally. Now I did see some people getting aggressive on this trade. I mean, you could have, don't get me wrong, you could have, but me personally, I'm not going to get in aggressive on this trade just because of that double bottom. I don't want to really risk it, because this was a reversal pattern. Like we was talking about it in the chat, and you could have gotten aggressive. You would have had the same type of stop loss. But I got in on break of the candle, and the first break of the candle, gotta be careful. Usually those are the fake outs. Like write that down. The first break of the candle usually are the fake outs. So that was the first trade that I took. Cut that loss in like 2 pips, even though it was like a 4 pip stop loss. And then I looked at this setup. Now, I hate that these regulated brokers love to change the wicks, because this is the setup that I took. Okay, this is the setup that I took. This was high probability at this time, but obviously they done made this wick tap the zone, so it looked low probability, but in real time, it was high probability. And I got in on a break of the candle on this as well. I got in right there, and I was anticipating a fake out because I just got previously faked out on GU. So I'm just like, okay, if this does it again, I'm definitely about to cut this one like super fast. And they literally did the same thing. So I actually waited for this candle to close when I got in on break the candle. I didn't just close it because it wicked down and closed with a rejection. I actually didn't close until this candle flipped green. Once this candle flipped green, let me slide this over. Once this candle flipped green, I instantly started closing up in this area because and my stop loss is actually above this swing. My fault. My stop loss is above this swing. My entry was right here. And I didn't close initially until this candle started pushing up green. Like once it started going like bullish, I'm like, okay, let me just get out because like this is not looking good. And that's the first break of the candle, fake out. So this day in particular, I had an idea. Well, we all kind of said that this setup right here was kind of trash. I'm gonna be honest, because they didn't have a break of structure. So this news candle right here, kind of like ruined the entire market because that huge rejection is liquidity sitting right up underneath this candle. So like they probably don't even want to go over here just because they just dropped super fast and then shot back up. So we just know it's money underneath this wick right here. So if this didn't break structure, this was kind of like a poor quality setup to take. And it's kind of irritating that this looked low probability because this definitely had a gap when we took it. And that was about it. So like this is probably the worst setup that I took this week was this trade. No break of structure. We was already low. London session was already breaking lows. And it's just like, and then when I turn on EMAs, yes, the 200 EMAs at the top. But if we follow in structure, if we're just looking at all the swing highs and swing lows, this really didn't break no structure. So like this just wasn't a good setup to take. And it was an immediate fake out. And the annoying thing about this day was some of y'all actually took this one, the higher one. And the rules still apply. No break of structure. And we just breaking a high to reach that zone. So this wasn't a good setup to take either way. Either way, go GJ on, what was this, Tuesday? GJ on Tuesday was just not a good day to trade GJ. Like Tuesday was just terrible. So, and this didn't have like no 1 hour demand, no 4 hour demand, nothing that was going to tell it that it wanted to go up. This was just a 5-minute setup alone, no break of structure, poor quality setup, period. Okay, so now we got the losses out the way because the losses was only 5-minute setups. Like it wasn't no higher time frame confluence or nothing like that. We couldn't mix the 15-minute with the 5-minute or nothing was saying that this wanted to go up and this didn't have a break of structure. So overall, this was just a poor day. Now, let's talk about the wins. Okay, so let's go all the way to Monday. I posted this trade on YouTube. You can literally watch it on YouTube when I took this trade. But the only real reason why I kind of like this setup and I was a little bit iffy about it is because, for one, the zone was big. I didn't like how big the zone was on a 5-minute chart, but this also was a 15-minute zone. So when I first looked at this setup on Monday, I'm like, okay, we're running into a 15-minute supply. Let me see if I can scale this zone down. So I went to the 5-minute. You can clearly see I scaled the zone down just like that. And I waited for the break of the candle. Now, this trade was a little high risk because we're going towards the 200 EMA. That is counter trend. So on a 5-minute, this is counter trend. But on the 15-minute, this looked like a solid downtrend, like solid. Now, we know that price likes to bounce off of 200, like the 200 EMA. So just looking at this, you can clearly see that it bounced off the 15-minute 200 EMA. So like I do use different time frames to see where's the EMAs is at, because right here we can clearly see that they just rejected off the 200 EMA on the 15-minute, but on the 5-minute, I don't see a 200 EMA. I just see price is going through the middle, which we're in consolidation. So when I'm piecing both of those together, I'm like, okay, I can potentially scalp this break of the candle on the 5-minute off of a 15-minute supply, and the 15-minute 200 EMA is literally right there. So that's why I got in, even though we was already kind of high. I know some people probably pass up on it, like, okay, this looks like this is invalid, but long as they don't touch the top of the box, it's a valid setup. Now, yeah, I got in a break of the candle. That was it. Boom. That's about it. So you take it to the 200 EMA on all time frames? No. I don't take it in the 200. No. I just looked at the 15 minutes to see, okay, where is the 200 EMA? I'm not trading EMAs to EMAs. I'm not like entering sale, and then when we got the 200 EMA right there, I'm going to get out. Like, that's not how I'm trading. I'm just saying I'm using it as confluence, like to see, okay, because price loves to bounce off the 200 EMA. Like literally today, on GJ. It literally bounced right off the 200 EMA. That's why I got an aggressive today on GJ. All right, so this was the trade on Monday. 15-minute supply scaled it down. We got the 5-minute zone to be able to scale down, and we got the 15-minute of 200 EMA right there. That was it. That's all that it was. Can you show the breakup structure? Let me go to it. So this really didn't have a clear breakup structure. So like right here, let me see. Right here, I was looking at this low right here because none of this is clear. Like these are lows, but like none of it is clear. The only real reason why I liked it is because it had 15-minute confluence. But like if it's like just like I said about the previous setup that we lost on where we're breaking highs, like those ones that lost didn't have 15-minute confluence. See, I would take a setup that have a different time frame confluence because I don't really care about the structures on a 5-minute because it's a 15-minute setup. So this is the only real reason why I even consider this because it's a different time frame setup. It's not just 5-minute. Now, the setups that I lost on, those are just simple 5-minute setups, no 15-minute, 1 hour, no nothing. So when structure is being broken to reach your zone just simply off of a 5-minute setup, that decreases the chances of it losing. I mean, that decreases the chance of it winning. Okay, I'm gonna say that one more time so I won't confuse people. When we are taking a setup like this that have 15-minute and 5-minute confluence, line it up, I'm not really worried about the swing highs being broken to reach my supply zone. But when we take a 5-minute setup alone that have no higher time frame confluence and is breaking structure to reach my zone, I am concerned. I'm like, okay, this may not work out. Okay. So like that's how I'm distinguishing whether I want to take a setup that is breaking highs to reach my supply zone or breaking lows to reach my demand zone. Like, so I just wanted to say that. All right, so let's go to the next day. This was Monday. Let's go to Thursday. Now, Thursday was, oh my God. This was just a different type of day. So the first setup that happened on NAS 100 was this demand setup. I did consider getting into this setup right here. I did get into it late. So this is what happened. Let me see a replay mode right here. Okay. So the zone is already big for one. I don't even know if anybody got in aggressive on this trade, but literally everybody's waiting for the break of the candle. We do have the 200 EMA literally right there. So that was a little bit kind of, a little bit iffy. I believe this had a 1 hour. Was this at a 4 hour or something? Yeah. So this was at a 4 hour demand. So we got higher time frame confluence on this setup in particular. So right here, we got a 4 hour demand that we just tapped into right there. And then I just marked up the 4 hour just to know that, okay, we're in the 4 hour zone. So I went back to the 5-minute and I'm like, okay, we're already coming off of a 4 hour demand. I'm just thinking about buys. Like I'm not thinking about no sales, just buys. So when it got to the zone, I didn't get in on the first break of the candle. Like right there, didn't get in right there. I waited until it closed. And then I'm like, okay, I'm going to take a chance on this and I'm going to hit buy right there at the original entry. And I'm going to put my stop loss underneath the whole zone. So I'm literally just sitting in drawdown the entire time, just waiting it out. And I just decide, you know what? I'm going to get out. As soon as I got out, like literally it shot up. And we had news that was coming out at 8:30 this day, I believe. Let me go to it. Let me see. Was it news this day? I believe it was. It's Thursday. Yeah, we had news at 8:30. Okay, yeah. So we was trying to like anticipate, okay, how long is this going to take for it to hit TP? And that is like essential when we are trading New York session. Like we got to gauge, okay, if we going to close before news or are we going to move our stop loss? Like it all depends on where we're at in the trade before news, because trading New York session every single week, we're always avoiding news. Like we're always trying to avoid it. I'll be seeing people in the chat trading news. I'm not telling y'all to do that. Like no, I'm not doing that. But for people that are trading news, like you got to for people that's avoiding news, you got to work around it. Every New York session is always going to be some sort of news. Some days we don't get news, but like in particular, I didn't want to take that chance with trying to hold this through news. Now, this trade did win, and I was a little irritated about it, not going to lie. And I mean, it is what it is. Like, that's just what I was willing to not risk. Like, I'm not willing to risk holding this through news. Now, some people actually got out before news. Don't get me wrong. Some people got out on this candle right there. Boom, TP hit or whatever. But I'm just not holding through news. So I just like, you know what? I'm just gonna close that break even, wait for another setup. Now let's take this off. Take this off right here. Now, a few people asked me, okay, how did you know that this was going to hold? Okay, for one, we see where the 200 EMA is at. The 200 EMA is literally right here. It's literally cutting through the middle. So, like in my eyes, I'm like, we got a 4-hour demand. Okay, that's confluence. Like I'm thinking about everything that's going on a different time frame. We got a 4-hour demand. We got the 200 EMA cutting through the middle. When the 200 EMA is cutting through the middle, we're in consolidation. So what happens in consolidation? Liquidity grabs, stopping all traders, going the other way. So in my head, I'm like, I'm going to use a liquidity grab if they dip under. Now, I'm not going to lie. When they first got into the zone in real time, it looked like it was going to be a support setup. So let's go all the way down. Okay. So when they did that, I'm like, okay, they just dipped underneath this entire low right here. Let me clean this up because I definitely had it on majority of the wicks. So I had like this green wick in there, that red wick. Though I just had majority of the wicks where I drew my support area. So I'm just like, okay, they just dipped underneath here right here. Like they literally just dipped underneath it. So I'm like, okay, this can be a valid liquidity grab. So 200, and remember, the 200 EMA is in the middle, which means we are consolidating. There's no clear trend, but we just came off a 4-hour demand. So I'm just like, you know what? Let's just do it. Like breaking the candle, we broke right above the 200 EMA, which I actually liked. I'm not gonna lie, like that we just broke right above it. And literally that spike right there, like this was a crazy spike. In real time, this spiked so fast, like it was crazy. But I got out somewhere up in here. I just closed immediately. I closed all three. It was over with. And then it played around a little bit, and then it actually went up a little bit more. So it went up just, I think about what, a 1 to 2 or something like that. I don't know if anybody held through, but I didn't go for a 1 and 2. I just closed at a 1 to 1. But this was a good trade. Like, period. This was a great trade. And that's about it on Thursday. Read some of these. I've heard that sometimes stops don't work during news. Has that actually happened to anyone? That haven't happened to me because I don't trade it. Like I just stay away from it. Like brokers, like they just love to blame everything on news. These prop firms, they'll disable your account if you trade news on some of these prop firms. Like I just stay away from it. I just don't do it. Like anytime when there's high impact news, speech or something like that, NFP week, Brexit, like during those times, like I'm just really trying to avoid all news, period. Okay, so this was Thursday. And that was really it. That's the only trade that I took. I took this demand setup right there, but I closed that break even, and that was it. So let's talk about today, because today, man, today was a great day in the market, bro. It was amazing. I'm gonna be honest, man. It don't even make sense how many setups GJ thrown. Like it was like 3 back-to-back setups. Like you can clearly see demand setup, break a structure. Demand setup, break a structure. Demand setup, break a structure. Came back to it. And then you can clearly see where the 200 EMA is at, right there at the zone. This was just this was like a beautiful setup. And I got in aggressive. And I closed at a 1 and 2. So, I mean, that's how I made so much money today, because I got in aggressive. I held a little bit longer. You know, it was just a great day. But overall, this day was just a regular day that we're going to see. A regular breaker structure, come back to the 200 EMA. We're taking it. No higher time frame influence. Like this trade went for, I think it went for at least a 1 to 3, if I'm not mistaken. It went a little bit up. Like went for what, 1 to 3 or something? A 1 to 4 if you would have held. But no higher time frame influence though. So we don't even know how far these sales will go. If I go back to this trade, this one got 15-minute confluence, but we only went for at least a 1 to 3 before it reversed and started going back up. But this trade today went for 1 to 4 with no higher time frame influence. So when people ask me, okay, how can I get the higher risk reward trades? You can either take the 5-minute setups and twin trade. You can do that. You can twin trade because, again, we don't know how far this 5-minute set will go. Or you can mainly just take the ones that got higher time frame influence. You can at least get a 1 and 2 on all of the ones that have higher time frame influence. You don't have to just go for a 1 and 1. So, yeah, that was my week, bro. So I'm gonna just put some people on, and like I know I make everything like super simple, but I'm like dead ass like this didn't have no. I'm literally looking at the 5-minute chart. Nothing happened on 15-minute, no nothing, and we're catching 1-4s, 1-3s easily. Like you don't really need the higher time frame. It just you want to go with the higher time frame direction because you can get most of the move. So yeah, I'm gonna put some people on. I know people got questions. I know people want to go over their setups. Can you look at GJ today at the 15-minute supply that held on GJ? Let me see. We're just gonna close all these out. Okay. And we're gonna go back to the real. Okay, you said the 15-minute supply on GJ today. Oh, you said it had 15-minute confluence? It did, though. I'm just looking at it right now. No, you're actually right. Let me go back to this real quick. Definitely did. Definitely had 15-minute confluence. So that's crazy because that just even makes it even better. So this did have 15-minute confluence. I'm just looking at it on a 5-minute. I'm not even knowing that the 15-minute had confluence. So this trade that we took today actually had 15-minute confluence. This is a 15-minute demand zone. It have a breaker structure. Scale that zone down. Boom, right there. The gap is directly in front of it. And we're taking that with the 200 EMA right there. Like, that's beautiful. I didn't even know it had higher time frame influence. Now, what are you talking about with this GJ supply? Where is it at? The GJ supply today that held at on a 15-minute. What supply? What are we talking about? I don't see a single supply right here. This is low probability, so I'm not really engaging in these type of setups. So, oh, he mean GU. It's the same thing. On the 15-minute, there's literally zero. Either I'm tripping or I just don't know supply and demand. I don't see one that have a gap. Bro, what are we talking about, man? All right, I'm gonna put somebody on, man. Let's put somebody on. I don't know what we talking about.
Hey, then, brother, how are you?
What's going on?
Not bad, man, not bad. I've got a few questions I want to ask. So one of the first questions I want to ask is regarding to zones. I know I sent you a setup during the week, but what I've been doing, I take my setups on the 15, but my entries on the 5. So it looks like I know it looks a bit confusing because my 5. I'm not sending you pictures of my 5-minute entries, but I went through the webinars, the recorded webinars that you told me to go through.
Mm-hmm.
But I still didn't understand when you said the zones are too big on the 15. So I just wanted you to, if you can just like give me a little bit more clarity regarding to that.
What zone? I'm like on what pair? What's the setup?
Not in general. Like, what would you class as a zone that's too big?
Okay, let's just find a zone that's huge. That's like, nope, I wouldn't even take it. Let me see. Let me find one. Perfect. This is literally perfect. Right here. Let's just analyze this huge zone right here. Now, we know it didn't work out, but come on now. This zone is extremely large. So, and this is GJ. So, first of all, I'm going to count how many pips is in here. Let's just see how many pips in this entire zone right here. That's a 13 pip zone. Now, off rip, I'm only taking a break of the candle. Period. I'm not even about to risk 13 pips for this huge zone.
Okay.
But like, say if this is NAS 100, like 13 pips may be okay for NAS 100 because NAS 100 moves a little bit faster. Like, it's so much inside of the candles that's actually kind of like small. But like if you get a 13 pip on like AU, Euro USD, USD JPY, that's actually a huge zone. You might want to pass up on that zone. But
Okay.
yeah, on average, like okay, like something like this. This winner right here is actually a huge zone. Even though it won, it's still a huge zone. Like, why are your zone that big? I know some of y'all took this trade on Wednesday this week, and this was a great trade for London session, but this zone is still huge, but we still got a 200 EMA right there, and I'm only going to take the break of the candle. I'm not going to get an aggressive. This is a large zone. Now, let me
So
find a
would you
zone.
say?
Go
So
ahead.
would you say anything over 10 pips is 10 to 9 pips is a bit too big then.
Let me see. Yeah. Yeah, that's what anything I feel like anything over because I feel like I talked about this before, but anything over like 10 pips as your zone on GJ or GU is actually kind of large because we're on a 5-minute chart. So like our zone shouldn't be that big unless it got higher time frame confluence. Like say this is a 1 hour and we're scaling down the zone to the 5 minute. Like it shouldn't even be really more than like 10 to 11 pips. No more than that. If it is, that's considered a large zone.
What about on a 15 minute? Because I traded in the 15, but I was just scaled down in the 5 for entry.
I mean, the 15, like, it don't really matter if the zone is large on the 15-minute because you're scaling the zone down. So it don't really matter. Now, if you enter off the 15-minute, now it does matter, if that makes sense, because you already scaling the zone down. So, like, are you entering off the 15-minute?
No. I enter on the 5 minute.
Okay, so, like, just keep it congruent. Like, so say if your zone is like, let me try to find another one. Let me try to find one that actually let me look at today actually. So this trade today actually was a 15-minute. If I go to the 15-minute and I count how big this candle is right here, just count how big it is. This is an 18 pip candle. So this whole zone, if I'm counting this whole candle right there, which is the 15-minute demand zone, this whole zone is about 18 pips, I believe. 18 pips. Is that large for a 15-minute? No, because we're on a 15-minute. But this is large on the 5-minute. But when you scale down the zone, now your zone is not that large anymore. So now we got a smaller zone. So now this zone right here is considered a reasonable size zone. We got a 10 pip zone right there. That's pretty good. Like, so anything over 10 pips, as far as the zone on a 5-minute is large. I really wouldn't care too much about the size of the zone on a 15-minute. Just make sure like the zone just don't look ridiculously like huge. Like we just don't want a huge zone. If that makes
Okay,
sense.
then. Thank you. And my last question, when it comes to risk to reward,
Mm-hmm.
would you say the setups with higher time frame confluences gives better risk to reward? Would you say so? Or
Yeah, no, definitely. Anything that have higher time frame bias or confluence or anything that's added on to your 5-minute setup, yeah, for sure. Like if you're only taking 15-minute plus 5-minute setups, like you should only be going for a 1 to 2 at least minimum. You shouldn't even be going for 1 to 1 if you're taking 15-minute confluence setups. So I just feel like, yeah, 1 to 2 minimum if you're trying to go for that. Unless you're just trying to just scalp and get out, like if that's just what you want to do. But me personally, like if I take a 15-minute setup, I'm trying to go a little bit more than what I usually go for sure.
no problem. Thanks so much for your time, brother.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Have a good one. I think it's subjective. It's yes and no. As far as the size of the zone, yes and no, because I've seen huge 15-minute zones. It's like, you know what? I'm not even about to consider that because it's just too large. The candle is too big. Yes, it got a gap. Yes, it got to break a structure on this supply and demand setup. But like, I'm just personally not going to take that. So, all right, let me go to the next person. Got Eric right here. Hello.
Hey, Well, sorry about that. I was on speaking on mute. I appreciate you taking the call.
Yes, sir. What's going on?
Yes. October on Tuesday, SPX 500. I just wanted your thoughts on that real quick. It was a supply, clear as day. SPX 500 on Tuesday.
Okay, let's go to it. I haven't traded SPX 500 in so long.
Yeah, it's just slower. So
Mhm.
just trying to get used to it before I get into the big leagues with the NAS 100 with you. So
Yeah, Nas ain't no joke. So you said what day?
Tuesday.
Tuesday. Let me just take this off. Okay, let's go Tuesday. Let's see.
So we had to break a structure, we had the supply, we had a lot of things going there, but that spike got me a 1020.
1020. Right here.
there. Yeah, so the demand was
What?
starts at right there at a 810
Wait a minute. So you took a sell or a buy?
sell.
So,
Sorry, supply. Sorry.
so you took this
Yep.
and you got on a break of the. I'm pretty sure this broke the candle, then it shot
Yep.
back
Yep.
up.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. Now, do this have higher time frame influence?
What I found was at the 4 hour, it hit that 4 hour demand. That down that yeah, right there, it hit that 4 hour demand. It got me a few times though. It's been getting me.
Oh,
That 4 hour demand is always
yeah, you gotta catch that, bro. Like,
yeah,
yeah, for sure. This definitely plays a role in why this shot up. But
right,
another thing is just look at structure though. Like, so we tap into a 4 hour demand and we breaking a high to reach our zone. So in this supply zone, have
hmm
no 15-minute. Oh, it do have 15-minute confluence right there.
right,
It do have 15-minute, but it ran into the 4 hour. So with you
yeah,
know what I'm saying? Like the 4 hour is gonna move the 15-minute. Let me see what the 1 hour. Yeah, it looked like you could have scaled down 1 hour, 15-minute, five
right.
minute, but that 4 hour, that's the
It got me, yeah, and it happened a
yeah.
few times. That 4 hour, it keeps
Mm-hmm,
getting me. It got me a few times, so I just
mm-hmm.
gotta now as part of my trade plan is to get the just draw out the 4 hour now.
Yeah, no,
Uh,
definitely. You still got to glance at the higher time frame. Me personally, I don't look at the daily like that. Like,
oh, okay, okay,
I don't really care too much for the daily, but I do glance at the 4 hour just to see like, have we hit any zones? Like, what have they done, or are we running into anything? Like, so
right,
yeah, that was probably the main reason why this just kept just going up. They was ready to just start being bullish right there for sure.
right.
You just gotta just pay attention to that. Like next time you see it, don't take the
hmm
sale, just wait or wait for another demand or something. But
Exactly, exactly.
yeah,
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that we're on the same page. I appreciate you.
yes, sir. All
Sure.
right. Let's put somebody else on. No, this is a great example. People are going to do this. Like they're going to see 15-minute setup and then, oh, we can scale this down. Like, oh, this look good. Break the candle, boom. And then 4 hour right there, just the big dog right there, just ready to buy. So you got to be careful. Like the higher time frame is going to move the lower time frames, but sometimes the lower time frames will win depending on like where we're at in the market. But this in particular, we can clearly see they react off of that 4 hour demand right there. So yeah, they was ready to buy. All right, let's go to the next person. We got a Honcho right here. Okay.
Can you go to EU?
Oh, not Euro USD on this one. It's trash, man. How do y'all trade this, man? Just don't get it. All right.
Yo, I was gonna ask if that was like a valid liquidity setup,
Where
like where it's like at 3 at your time, or you like right there where you're pointing at two in the mouse. Yeah, like yeah, right there.
not a liquidity grab, but let me see if it dipped underneath that low right there. Nah, nah. This is just support. This is a support setup.
Okay, yeah, cause I was like, wait, is liquidity grab like when it's in the zone or like when it dips under and then it
It,
shoots out?
yeah, when it dips underneath here, but doesn't close underneath here and start going up, that's a liquidity grab. This right here is just support. That's it.
That's it. That's it. Thank you.
All right. All right. Yeah, people be scared to take stuff like this. Well, people just be scared, but this is a valid setup right here. Like you can still make money on this right here. Like, period. All right, let's go to Zion right here. Yeah, you can make money on this. Like scalp that up, boom, couple pips, couple thousand, boom, you're done. But people be scared. Hello?
Yes, sir. It's good, bro.
What's going on?
Yeah, I had a question. So everybody tonight took a demand on GJ, and I took a supply on GU actually, but more so because I was looking more left, and I seen recent breaks of structures to the downside on higher time frames. So if you look at GU around the same exact time I was taking GJ, I was looking at supply that GJ was running into. You get what I mean?
I mean, how are we talking about GJ or GU? Like, what are we talking
GU.
Okay, so you talking about this right here,
Yes, sir.
and you took a sale. Well, it's actually invalid though. So you got an aggressive.
So yeah, I got an aggressive on that. Even I won personally. That's why I wanted to. Really, what I want to know is if you feel if it was a bad trade, because like I said, more than likely everybody was against the trade that I was taking. But I see if you see that shooting star right there, I basically got an aggressive off that shooting star, a little bit more left. Yes, sir. And I caught that move down.
Hold on. So it's not this zone then. Then we're not talking about this zone. So
Yeah.
what's the zone?
My fault. It's more of like a higher time frame zone, like a 2 hour. If you look left more, it was
A,
more like previous days.
a 2 hour?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm definitely not on a 2 hour, but we can go to 2 hour and see what did you catch right here. Let me see. A 2
So if
hour?
you're seeing continuous down market structure breaking down to the downside repeatedly,
Okay.
and then I seen that last high on I believe that was a Wednesday's high, and I took supply right there. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, bro. 'Cause, I'm just gonna keep it a buck. I'm just a little lost, Like I don't really know exactly why you sold right here at all. Really, just because I'm looking left and I'm like, okay, maybe like I'm not really sure.
Little. So that red, you see that shooting star, that green shooting star right before the red bearish hammer?
Right here,
No. So you're right.
right here.
No, more to your right today. This is today. We took this setup today. You took GJ today, but I took GU. So that shooting star right there on that green 2 hour time frame candlestick,
On a two
right
hour,
before the red hammer. Right.
right here.
No, sorry. Yeah. The one that you had, the trade that you had up before, the chart that you had up before, there was a red hammer that was there. I took that as supply and I won that trade. But like I said, everybody was taking demands today. I wanted to know if that was a bad setup. The reason I took it was because of a higher time frame break of structures. So I was looking for some sales from that zone. But I do trade 5 minute and 15 minute as well. I only use that 2 hour and the 1 hour as confluence
Okay.
to take that supply.
Like I'm gonna be honest, bro. Like I'm just kind of like lost because like you say on a 2 hour, I
I
don't
can send it
trade.
to you to DM. I don't want to hold up the chat.
Send it to me, bro. Because just like you got to show
My
me how you
fault, gang. My
trade.
fault, y'all.
Because I'm not really understanding. Because I never use a 2 hour like ever. So like you just got to show me like
I kind of been
exactly.
getting wicked out and faked out on the 5 minutes, so I've been using more higher time frames for just confluence. I still scout all of
Okay.
that, but
All right.
yeah.
Yes. Send me the exact sequence of this trade so I can help you out. For sure.
All right, bet.
Yes, sir.
My
No, you good, bro. You good. I just personally never used the 2 hour. So let's go to the next person. Yeah, you gotta help me out.
What's going on, man?
What's good?
All right, so today on Nas, right?
Okay.
Around 8 o'clock. Okay, so that break of structure right there, right? Would you consider that a minor break of structure or
A
a
breaker
major break
structure going which way?
going down?
At this
Very
point right here?
at that point, yeah.
Right here.
Yeah. And
There's
it
no breaker
broke that,
structure.
right? Huh?
There's no breaker structure. If you saying a bearish breaker structure or a bullish breaker
Yeah,
structure?
a bearish break of structure.
There's no bearish breaker structure at this point.
Okay, so let that move happen right there. Like play it. Right there. You see how I
Breaker.
broke structure to the
Yep.
left?
That's
Right
breaker
there.
structure. Yeah.
So do you consider that like a major or a minor?
Minor. It
A
gotta break this low to be considered a major breaker structure.
Okay, because I took that trade when it pulled back to that supply right there.
So you took this supply rate. You marked this up.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
Yeah.
I marked the one above that one.
Oh, this one all the way up here, over there.
Yeah. I took that one, and around 10 o'clock, that's when it came back towards it. So would you consider that valid or
no? This is valid. This is valid.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay.
For sure.
Because
Now,
I was skeptical. I took it, but I took it late. I didn't take it as soon as it hit the zone. I took it late because on an hour time frame, it was consolidated. It was basically ranging. And it's like I like to take trades like far as on a break of structure on an hour.
Yeah.
And the whole time it was ranging before it actually broke that lower low that you consider a
yeah,
major.
like this setup in particular, the only way I would have possibly have faith in this is just off of the rejections at the zone, because we broke a minor break of structure, but we didn't break the major break of structure. So this is still kind of like risky to take, because it's just like, okay, we not really clear on which way we want to go. You feel me? Like it's breaking structure to the upside, downside, and then it's tapping right here. So the rejections at the zone is just the only thing that's going to really just like, okay, maybe they potentially want to just hold at this area right there, because we really have no higher time frame influence. This is a 5-minute zone, but if we're looking at structure, we're breaking highs and lows to reach this zone. We broke a low, and now we just broke a high. So it's like, okay, which way do they want to go? So yeah, this was a little risky, but it worked out though, for sure.
Okay, yeah, because I was just talking about it with one of my buddies, and consider that break of structure. And I was telling him it was a minor break of structure. That's the reason why I didn't really take the trade. I took it late.
Yeah.
And I basically took it off that engulfing as soon as it broke on the hour time frame.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's when I took it. So I was just questioning that right there.
Okay, no, this is valid to take though. This was good.
Okay, that's a bit.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate.
Yes, sir. How will you interpret the EMA? I mean, we got the 200 EMA right there. Like, it don't have to perfectly reject it. Like, it can close above a little bit and then close back up under. It don't, like, the market's not gonna always be perfect. Like, we can want a wick rejection at the 200, but the market's still gonna do what it want to do. Either way to go, the 200 EMA is literally right there. It's literally right there. So it's just, this is just a valid moving average right in front of your zone, and it tapped into the zone. This was solid to take. All right, let's go to the next person right here. I took that sell on the break and retest off the major break of structure. Okay, you probably took this,
thank
right?
you, yeah. So I know probably you might have answered this a couple of times, but if you can go to the GJ setups that was taken today. My main confusion has to do with market structure. And that is what is actually throwing me off. So at this point, you know how it's creeping up. Are you going to call these ones minor break of structures, or you still consider them as major break of structures?
What, this one right here?
Yeah, like if you come a little bit to the left.
Are you talking about these right here, these small ones?
Like yes, exactly.
Yes, minor break of structure. This one is a minor break of structure that we took today. Like, a major break of structure is we are the highest point in that area. That's a major break of structure. So, like, in this situation right here, this will be considered a major break of structure because this is the newest low right here, if that makes sense. Over here, this is not the newest high because we have other highs that's right there. So, like, when you're trying to consider, okay, is this major or a minor break of structure, just look left. Are we in no man's land when we just broke this structure, or we got other price action to the left? Because if we have other price action to the left, but we still broke some structure, that will be considered minor. So either way go, we want breaks of structure, but the major ones are better. But are we going to get that every single day? Probably not. But when we do, we need to like be able to like capitalize on it. So
okay. So and then my final question is, I'm looking at this. Since it's kind of breaking, we're taking this. So we stick to how the market is moving on the 5 minutes. Now, if you look at right out the trade, which just you have which one, see it broke the structure down, kind of it broke it up a little bit and then broke it down.
Well,
where you exactly the next structure, you see that it kind of broke it there. It kind of broke it down. If you go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you count about 7 candles to the right.
Right here.
Yeah, right. Okay, go a little bit. You see it kind of pulled back a little bit, shot up, and then the next move broke that structure there. Would you consider that as a break of structure? Right, exactly.
Right here. Yes, but there's no setup involved. So I'm not focused on it. Like, I don't really care about it. It's not a setup at the bottom. So I'm not, overall, we're bullish. The 200 EMA is at the bottom. So I'm only really caring about bullish breaks for structure. I'm not going to overanalyze, okay, it's breaking this high, it's breaking that low, it's breaking this high. What is the overall direction? Like the direction was bullish. We see we got buyers in this area. We have buyers in this area, buyers in this area. I only care about buying. So I'm not going to just focus on every single break of structure, everything that's on the line chart. I'm not going to just focus on, okay, is that a break of structure? This break of structure? Where is the setup at? And then we're going to analyze, okay, where's the swing highs, swing lows nearby it? Is this major? Is this minor? But I don't really care about if it's breaking structure. Regardless, it doesn't really matter. Where's the setup at? There's no setup. So yeah, like I don't want you to just, what is the most recent break of structure? Like, where's the setup at? After we see the setup, now we're looking at structure. Like, where's our zones? Like, that's all that matters. I don't want people to just, okay, oh, there go a new break of structure, that candle which is breaking up, and then we're looking for that. Now, are we bearish now because we just broke structure going towards the 200? It doesn't matter. Where's the setup? Like, if there's no setup, we don't really care. Like, so right here, like, that don't really, it's kind of like irrelevant in my opinion.
Okay, so in this case, that's when the 200 EMAs and the EMAs come in as a confluence. At least whilst we're trading above them, then we can ignore whatever it's doing and then stick to our buyers. Not sort of a bias, but then kind of, okay, I'm still focusing on buys until we break down the EMAs, and probably I'll switch my buyers to probably
exactly.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yes, sir. That was actually a good question, because people be like, okay, are we bearish now? Like, no, like, we have to, you know, when you're bearish, when all the EMAs at the top, we're breaking structure to the downside, like, we are bearish. But like, when people just see just a new break of structure going the other way, or say the 200 EMAs at the top, and then we got a bullish break of structure, we're not automatically just bullish just because we just broke structure. They can break structure to the upside and still shoot down. We needed to break multiple structures for us to be like, okay, I think we're on the uptrend now. Like, not just, oh, we got this new break of structure, we're bullish. Like, no, like, absolutely not. At this point right here, when they broke that low, we're not bearish. Like, not bearish at all. Even when, let me see a setup right here. Let me see. Like, right here, you see how they broke these highs and then kept going back down. Just because they're breaking highs doesn't mean that it's just going to just be bullish after that point. How many times are they breaking structure? Where's the EMAs at? Like, we got to really just focus on, okay, how many breaks of structure have they broken before we can just simply say the trend is reversing. Like, that's super important. Like, we can't just, the first break of structure, or we're switching trends. Like, this is a change of character. Like, that doesn't matter. Like, we still have to see, okay, what are the candles being printed after they broke structure? What is going on? Like, is we run into an EMA? Like, what's good? Okay, let me go to the next person. I don't want to waste too much time. Got Jerome right here.
Yeah. Yes, beautiful sir. Week, man. Beautiful week. Man.
He coming over that energy. What's good?
Yeah, man? Nah, all the time, man. It's a beautiful thing to be able to trade like this, man. Like, you can't take it for granted. But yes, my question is, so during the week, so for me, you be drawing like sometimes your zones, and your zones be bigger than mine. And I was invalid on one of my zones, but yours was still valid. I was just wondering, like, how was you, like what was the indicator? You feel me?
What zone?
I don't remember what day, but just like when bruh for the GJ
today,
when he was talking about when you was hecka confused and stuff, you drew his zone. It was like from the bottom of the bullish to the top of the bearish, and I didn't really understand like when you do that sometimes.
Oh, okay. So I know exactly what you're talking about. So let me go to it real quick and hit the replay mode. So this is just simply how I draw my zone. So I'm looking for a bullish candle. I'm looking for a bullish candle that have a gap directly in front of it. After I find the candle that I want to draw a box around, where is the nearest swing high or swing low? Because I include that as well. So I'm not going to draw my zones like this. I'll be seeing people do stuff like that. That's not how I draw my zones. I'm not just drawing the bullish candle. No, I'm drawing the swing, and I'm including the swing. So if we're talking about, what was that trade that I took? Was that GJ on Monday?
Yeah, I think it was GJ.
Yeah, I think it was GJ on Monday.
Man, GJ was beating my ass, bro.
No, yeah.
God. Oh my
GJ was
God.
wilding.
All them fake outs, I lost like 7 pips. I tried on 2 times on one zone. I said, oh no, this guy take a break.
No, for real. Oh God. What was that? Was that GJ on Monday? Yeah. So this right here. Some people right had this marked up like that.
Yep,
That's not how I draw my zone. I draw it. I include the swing high. Now I don't include the whole thing. I include what's right next to it. What is on the right hand side of it. So on the right hand side of that green candle, I'm including this wick too. That's the entire zone. Like, that's how I draw my zones. Some people want to just do one candle. No, that's not how I do it. So I include the swing.
Yeah, no, that's where I really noticed it, because that was invalid for me. That's when I was trading GJ before it beat me up.
No, this is how I draw my zones, bro. So yeah, I don't know if you want to incorporate it or not, because some people they want to draw how they want to draw, and it's working for them. So whatever is working for you, stick with that. But this is how I draw my zone.
Yeah, no, I'm for sure going to backtest it. It's the weekend, man. You got to put that work in still.
Hey, man, you coming on here with that good energy, man. I need some of that, man. Share some of that energy, bro.
Man, it's just a good time to be alive for it. You can make money easy, like a press a little button. Like,
no, fact, bro.
We working hours.
No, fact. We in a beautiful time, for sure. That's all you had, or you had another question?
That's all I had. No, that's it.
Yes, sir. All right. Nah, bro came on with that good energy. You need that. All right, let's put some somebody else on. Vontae on. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hey, sorry about that. I'm at work. Yes, I had a quick question in regards to, I just really wanted your advice as far as traders who don't really, I guess, correlate to scalping and want to scale up a little bit, because I notice it's kind of harder for me to change my mind as quickly when trying to scalp. And I kind of see me a little bit better with like 15 hourly, but I'm just having a hard time, like, I guess, matching the two.
Okay, that's perfect. So it's people in here that don't like the 5-minute chart, that do not like taking 5-minute candle breaks, and they want to like process. They want to actually sit down and be like, okay, let me really think this setup through. So if you want to do any intraday trading or trades that you know you're going to hold a little bit longer, your entries should definitely be off the 15-minute. Or if the 15-minute too fast for you, you can do the 30-minute. You could definitely do the 30-minute. Let me go to the 30-minute. Now, this is the thing. Like, if you want to have more of your time to think, like, okay, is this a good setup or not? You're going to get less setups. So you might have to add a little bit more pairs, because like I only trade 4 pairs, but I'm on a 5-minute. So some days I do miss setups being on a 5-minute. So, and that's only for 4 pairs. So if you want to enter your entries off the 15-minute or 30-minute, you may need like 4, maybe 5, 6 pairs, because you're not going to get a setup every single day, like at all. So let's just go on the 30-minute, and everything applies. Like the same rules apply. It's not really nothing different. Let me see. Like, you're really not going to get that many setups. Okay, right here. So right here, this is a 30-minute zone, and you taking a break of the candle right there. And that's a win. Like, that's literally a win instantly. But this the thing though. Your stop loss is 20 pips. So your first take profit is 20 pips. After that, then you can leave runner and try to go for a 1 or 2. And okay, you got the 1 or 2. Now you're going to collect the 41 pips in one move off the 30-minute chart. So like, you're going to catch more pips when you trade on the higher time frames, but you will have lesser setups. So it really just depends on what you want to do. But the 30-minute and the 15-minute, all the rules apply. Breaker structure, liquidity grabs, all of that stuff is literally the same stuff. You just got more time to think, but you get less setup. So yeah, I recommend for people that's like just not really enjoying how fast the 5-minute is, because what if you in the chat and the trade is breaking a candle and you giggling and you making jokes and you miss out on the setup and everybody done made money and then you lost, now you tight. Some people don't like that. So if you don't like how fast the 5-minute is, then you're going to have to focus more on the 15-minute or 30-minute. So It's really just up to you, but it's the same rules. The same rules. Is that all you had? Oh, I think he muted himself. No, definitely. What people be in the chat giggling and making jokes, and then, oh man, I missed it. I should have left a runner. I'm like, okay, like we in the chat, but we're not really focused on getting the bag. We're giggling, and don't get me wrong, I love the jokes in the morning. But when I see somebody, oh, I missed out on a setup, but I see you in the chat, you're typing, it's like, all right, what's going on? Like we trying to make money. Like that's the end goal. Like we're trying to get to the bag. So that's really all I got on this webinar, man. Let's just see what next week got in hold. It's October 20th. We're 1 week away from November, like literally. So next week, I believe, is the last week of October, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe we got like a week and a half left, whatever. But after that, we're going into November. Like we already seen a difference from the setups that we had to take. We literally using other strategies. I'm bringing out liquidity graphs, people bringing out support and resistance setups. Like we got to really be able to be versatile in quarter four. Some of y'all, this is y'all first quarter four. Y'all like, bro, I don't know how to trade. Trust me, this is a tough time to trade. I'm trying to tell you, it's going to be like this to the end of the year. So either you're going to adapt, because like we can avoid the fourth quarter. Next year, 2024, we still got to trade in December and November. So people that's saying like, oh, should I wait and wait to New Year's to trade? No, you need to still see what the market looked like during this time. Holiday season, the news, you got to see all of this. Like if you're taking a challenge and you want to wait until like January to start your challenge on your prop firm, then okay, that's cool. But you still need to be in the market, whether you're on your live account or your demo account. You still need to see what is presenting itself every single day in quarter four, period. When do you stop and start? So I don't have an exact date, but last year, I think, was that 2 weeks? Was that the last week of December? I'm not sure. I got to check the calendar. But definitely the last week of December and the first week of January, I do not trade. So we just got to see how the calendar is laid up, because it's kind of different. Every year is kind of different depending on the day, like New Year's fall on and Christmas fall on. So we're going to see. But yeah, any last questions before we look at news for next week and get ready for news? How is it during elections? Listen, I'm gonna be honest, man. I really wish Trump was in office, because I feel like he was creating a lot of great setups. Like whatever he was doing, like we was getting crazy setups. Biden is making the markets kind of like trash. Like I'm gonna be honest, like ever since he got in office, like it was not hitting how when Trump was in office. That's just off of just looking at the charts. Like you could look at EU all through 2023 and then look at EU in 2020, and you're gonna be like, bro, nah, ain't no way. Literally. So no, the election definitely play a role in the Forex market, especially indices. So trading NAS 100, you're gonna get affected for sure with these elections. All right, let's go and see what next week look like before I get off of this. Let me see. So Monday we got no news. Monday, Tuesday we got news at 9:45. Y'all already know the deal. We're just trying to take. So when we got news at like 9:45, 10 o'clock, we're trying to catch a setup before that. If the setup is looking iffy around 9:50, I would just wait, let news pass. Because some people be trying to squeeze in a trade, or say if we got news at 10, they're trying to squeeze in a trade, and now you send in consolidation, or you already in drawdown before news drop. So now you trying to just risk it, and it's like you don't put yourself in a bad position because you took a trade right before news. So you got to really look at the time. The times matter if you're in a trade before news. Okay, so we got news at 9:45 on Tuesday. No news on Monday. Wednesday, you already know. Thursday, we got news at 8:30. This is probably going to be a good day. Usually when there's 8:30 news, and we're usually going to either catch something like kind of real quick before 8 o'clock, 8:30, or 8:30, they're going to create like a beautiful setup. So I'm expecting Thursday to be a good day. We're going to see. And Friday, we got a lot of news too. We got news at 8:30 and 10 o'clock on Friday. So Friday is going to be, we're going to have some fun Friday. Yeah, it is. But all right, man, that's all I really got, man. So again, like I said, we are in quarter 4. Let me put my face back on here if people can see me. I don't know if people can see me or not, but we are in quarter 4. Do not be blinded to supply and demand. This is not the time to be just only seeing supply and demand, because I'm trying to tell you, when it's time to bring out another strategy and supply and demand is only getting caught in consolidation, you will lose. Like, you will lose. Like, supply and demand is a trend trading strategy. It works the best when it breaks structure. When the setup is not breaking structure, like, we should question it. Like, damn, it didn't break no structure. I don't know. And we got no higher time frame influence. I don't know if I should take this. I'd rather just wait for something else to come. You know what I'm saying? So definitely being selective and bringing other stuff out of your tool belt is going to make you just coast through the end of the year. Like, I do not want to up my lot size or anything until next year. I'm not doing nothing different. I'm just coasting to the end of the year, literally. So, yeah, that's all I got on this webinar. If you got any questions, always DM me on the weekend, bro. Like, I'm going to answer it. It's going to take time. Let's just keep killing it, man. Today was a great day in the market. If you made money today, good stuff. We got to do it again. You see how, like, everything don't even matter no more? Like, even after having a good day, and I done made 6,000 today, it don't even matter, because Monday we got to show up and do it again. So you cannot be too attached. We had a good day, celebrate. I'm about to get some drinks tonight. But after that, Monday, we back at it. So that's all I got, man. Homework Monday. Hopefully people turning in homework. If you're not turning in homework, I don't know why you're messaging me. Facts. If you're not turning no homework and you're messaging me like, how do you do this? Are you turning any other homework? Like, period. So please turn the homework. All right. That's all I got. Have a good weekend. We back at it Monday. Let's get it.